Hello, welcome to Awaken to Your Purpose webinar, a training with Philip Montrose. My wife Jane, she's having a little allergy situation, so she won't be with us today. But what we do is we help people step up and tap into the heart of success with holistic coaching and healing. And today we're focusing on a very important part of that, life purpose, as you know, because you're attending the call live or listening to it. So this is an important part of everyone's journey, especially when they get to a certain point in their path and their evolutionary aspect of things. And I'm going to ask people to mute now just so we get a nice clear call here. So Jane and I, we started off wanting more. We wanted to evolve, but we didn't know how. And at a certain point, we kind of hit a ceiling with our normal conventional life, myself as a school teacher. And I realized, hey, there's got to be more than this at a certain point. I enjoyed it. I was pretty good at it, but it just really wasn't fulfilling enough. And Jane and I were always interested in spiritual development. And that's actually how we met in the first place in Gurdjieff Ouspensky School. And Jane, at a certain point when she was an architect, became so stressed, she developed sort of a chronic fatigue condition, and she felt her soul was dying. She really felt like she had to find a deeper mission, and she just couldn't go on in the conventional way. And some of you may have hit a wall in different ways, and that sometimes becomes the turning point, or looking deeper, realize, hey, there's got to be more than this. And that takes you into a deeply soulful journey for new understandings and new development. And that's why your purpose is so important, because it's beyond just surviving. At a certain point, you realize survival, yes, you must survive, but just meeting your basic needs, although sometimes perhaps challenging, maybe not, there's got to be more. There's got to be a way to use your talents and gifts, what you're really interested in and inspired by, to help yourself and others. And that's where life purpose starts to come in, to play and to focus. And it really is a focusing tool, your life purpose, actually. It's a way to live your life on a journey, on a conscious journey. Your life becomes more of a work of art. As you're contributing, you're making a difference. You're finding meaning and becoming significant and part of a larger picture, a bigger picture, which then things start to fall into place. A little side note here. Jane and I have been doing this actually for quite a while, a few decades. One of our earliest books was called Getting Through to Your Soul, the 4 Keys to Living Your Divine Purpose. And so we were, years ago, really focusing on this, writing about it, teaching it, living it, experimenting, and helping others. And we want to share with you a little bit about what we learned today, and we'll do a live demonstration or two to show you how this works with our Wheel of Purpose, a handout that comes with this webinar that we use in our trainings too, these coaching wheels. So that brings us to what is a coaching wheel. You may or may not have heard the term. It's usually a wheel or circle or pie shape formed, subdivided. It's a self-evaluation tool where you can find out different parts or aspects of your life. So where are you strong? Where are you weak? Where's the gap? Where are you now? How to get clear on where you are now and where you want to go. So it fits in well with just general living, and you can do it for all kinds of things today about purpose, and we're going to show you some key aspects of purpose. So it's a good teaching device too. So that's a coaching wheel, and this subject is important if you want to create the best life possible. I'm kind of figuring that's you, or you wouldn't be here. I know that seems, it seems obvious. Like, of course I want to create the best life possible. That's true, but how important is it for you? You know, we can easily get overwhelmed and overloaded by life's obligations, hurry and worry, stress, trying to multitask, trying to do too many things, too much information, too many things to do, not enough time. Sounds familiar? Breathe. Relax. There's more to life, right? There's a lot more to life, and that's where your purpose comes in. So with this in mind, the most important elements of life purpose are on this coaching wheel that I'm going to show you, and we're going to do a demonstration with it. And we help clients and students and people using it. By the way, I encourage you to stick around to the end of the webinar because I'm going to share a really important tip at the end that you'll want to hear. And plus, there's ways of going further with this material too, which I'll show you how, because we have trainings and so forth, because you may want to learn how to use the tools I'm demonstrating tonight for yourself personally and professionally. So the next part is the big picture. The big picture, we call it the transformational triad, and where life purpose fits in. That seems like an unusual term. Now, in our coaching and healing online certification program, we've been teaching it for a couple decades, and we teach it in 3 courses or 3 divisions. And it was just about a year or 2 ago we realized why we chose these 3 courses. We knew they were important. We didn't quite know how important they are, but they're actually part of your development. And this is an interesting thing. If you follow your purpose, you make some profound discoveries just because you're on purpose, you're on track, you're single-minded. So you're tapping into your imagination and creativity, and a lot of synchronicity occurs too. So this 3-part transformational triad is self-development, dream development, and purpose development. Let me explain briefly here. So in developing yourself, what we call that is the heart of success. In other words, living from your heart, so you create success in a heart-centered way. As we know, society is sort of at the success point, but not at the heart-centered point in general, just speaking generally. But of course, people who are on this kind of call want both. They want to really be aligned with their heart and soul and have success in the process too, as part of that. And let me just, I want to just make sure if you haven't muted yourself, please mute yourself. And okay, now the second part of the transformational triad is dream development. Dream development. That means manifesting your dreams. And these are all interdependent, these 3 development aspects that we go through, especially if we're going for a conscious life, living fully, kind of life more than beyond survival. And I'm assuming all of you are there because you wouldn't be here on the webinar if you weren't interested in that or in some stage of it. And the dream development is manifesting your dreams. Are your dreams more important than your fears? Your dreams will help you overcome your fears. And that's what we teach in one of our courses, Manifesting Your Dreams. And the other course, which is more directly related to today's class, is purpose development, developing your purpose, making a difference, contributing. So we spend a course, a 4-month course as part of the Coaching Healing Online certification, going into that in depth and what that means from many different aspects. And today I'll go through some of it as well. So that is your 3 triad, and it's kind of a magical journey of discovering and living your purpose. And for many people, it just comes out that when they're ready, the teacher appears. When they're ready, the elements come to you. You manifest things when you're ready because you're open and you see it. It just doesn't pass you by. I remember one of our students, Clara, one of the parts of her purpose is she wanted to be a top athlete expressing her athletic abilities. And she was thwarted, not so much from her abilities, but because of her mindset. She took our coaching and healing program and cleared some mindset blocks, some fears, some related to trying to please her father and not fulfilling her athletic abilities for herself, but to live up to her father's expectations, even though in a way they coincided, but you have to do it for yourself, right? And then she won her local golf tournament there in New Jersey as a result. So some amazing things can happen when you get on track and you align these triad, the self-development, dream development, purpose development. Now, over the years, we've received a lot of questions, and we know there's some confusion and frustration around discovering and living your life purpose. Now, there's kind of continuum, discovering and living your life purpose. You're somewhere in that process. Now, you may find after you, quote, discover your purpose that you've been living it for quite a while in many ways, but not as consciously as you can be. And it will evolve as you do. More will be said. Hang on, I'll go more into that as we go further, giving little tips and insights along the way here. So this ties, all of this, your purpose ties into your spiritual journey and the stages of discovery that lead to the desire to live in harmony with a higher purpose, a higher contribution, right? And the idea is to be there as much as possible. You can't be perfect and so forth. And I want to bring in the coaching wheel, the wheel of purpose that comes with this webinar that we're going to explore today. Let me bring that up for you. It's one of the many wheels that we use in our coaching training, and you may be have been aware of coaching wheels before. Let me put this one up. Hopefully you can see that, the wheel of purpose. Maybe I'll make it bigger. See if that's better. Maybe that's better. Okay, so that's this wheel, the circle with the subdivisions, and there's 8 parts, key components to living your purpose. So you learn a lot by just looking at this wheel and grokking on it, being with it, meditating it, just letting it speak to you. And then the parts of it will be strong or weak in your particular case, which can also shift over time. Let me very briefly go into the 8 parts before we actually do a demonstration and show you how it works in practice. Okay, you would measure 1 to 10, 10 being the strongest in each aspect. And as you get stronger in these things, your purpose becomes stronger and clearer and on track as well. So 1 is loving yourself and others, because love is the ultimate solution. It starts with loving yourself, thinking more positively about yourself. And as EFT, Holistic EFT, the way we do it, one of the key affirmations, as you may know, is I deeply love and accept myself. It goes along with the tapping. And that can be challenging for people to love and accept themselves. But from that place comes amazing things. When you love and accept yourself, you actually are open to growing. It's rather paradoxical. When you fight yourself and resist yourself, you have a challenge growing. There's a lot holding you back. So it's opening to yourself. So 1 out of 10, how much you're loving yourself and others. You make a self-assessment on this wheel. 2 is self-awareness. It shouldn't be a surprise that you need to be aware of yourself. The unexamined life is not worth living, correct? Socrates' famous saying. So it's going to optimize your strengths and validate the excitement of your heart's desires, and also aware of your weaknesses. You have to know who you are and why you're here. And that's part of that transformational triad I mentioned just a moment ago, that 3 levels of those 3 aspects of development, the self, the dream, and the purpose development. So self-awareness helps you become in touch with that, in tune with that, and help you get a direction for yourself. You become more soul connected. There's a nice quote by Norman Vincent Peale that goes, one of the greatest moments in anybody's developing experience is when he no longer or she no longer tries to hide from him or herself, but determines to get acquainted with himself or herself as he or she really is. So it's a tremendous relief to know that you don't have to be anyone else. You can be yourself, and we were fighting that for a while. We're never good enough. We're trying to, like Clara, like trying to live up to our parents or whatever it is. These things that can come from many years ago, but are still playing an active part in our life and holding us back. And as you connect more deeply with your heart, you have a sense of who you are and where you're going, and that you do deserve a great life. And you can achieve, and you can accomplish, and you can have triumph and victory and help a lot of people. And whatever your purpose may help a few people or many people. Okay, the third aspect of the coaching wheel of our wheel of purpose that we created is the self-expression. So your purpose, a deep part of your purpose is expressing yourself. It's where your creativity is going to come from, that throat and the throat chakra, your reason for being alive. Now, as you heal yourself, and that's part of the growth experience and the life purpose journey and dream and development, you become more whole, right? And that love and accepting yourself, and then it gives way to easily and more authentically and deeply express yourself. The fourth part of the wheel is independence. How independent are you? This isn't the rebellion of a teenager. Obviously, it's not pleasing and trying to live for other people, as we said. It's being independent and interdependent and self-determined. In other words, you're determining your destiny. You're determining where you're going. You're following your calling. Gee whiz, Philip, I have this calling. I think it is, but I don't know if I should. I don't know if I can follow it. I don't know. But, I'm having these fears. Maybe it won't work. Maybe I won't. Hey, that's all normal. Don't worry about it. That's normal. But are you going to listen to your fears, or are you going to go forward anyway? As the book once said, hear the fears, but follow it anyways, and clear the fears. That's part of the journey too, so you can be strong and help others who have fears about, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't look the right part, I'm too old, I'm too young, and the many other things that just get in our way. And that's part of the journey, right? And you're going to have to counteract all the naysayers, all the people around you said you could never follow your spirit, you could never do that, you could never reach into the unknown. And that takes us to the next part of the wheel, resourcefulness, the fifth part here. That's we could say it's a quality of the heart, of being able to connect with the wisdom in your heart. And the heart understands what's right for you. Now, there's inner resources, like inner guidance, intuition, inner guides, inner intelligence, right? And then there's outer resources that you become connected to. It could be people, it could be knowledge, it could be things that you read, or groups that you join, or courses or classes that you take. All those can be part of the resources that become part of your resourcefulness. Another quote, Pablo Picasso, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So the next part of the wheel is confidence, that will measure confidence. How confident are you? Now, there are different parts of life that you may be more confident than others. That's natural. But in terms of finding your purpose, of finding your calling, of following your heart, of going forward with your journey, discovering it and living it, how confident are you? How much can you count on yourself? That doesn't mean you know what it is. You don't have to be perfect. You can't be perfect. But there's possibilities. You know that. You can take at least the next step. You can go in the directions of your dreams. You can be able to count on yourself and be confident. 7, commitment and motivation. Well, without commitment, your dreams and goals are not going to come true, right? You have to be motivated to do them. Because it's going to take actually some commitment. There's going to be some challenges. You're going to be stuck at times, and you're going to need to have the will and the ability to get through that. There's the idea in addictions of the levels of change. How strong are you willing to give up an addiction is similar to how strong are you willing to follow your purpose. So with an addiction, say someone calls us, I want to quit smoking, say. Well, 1 out of 10, we're measuring again how strong, how committed are you, how motivated are you to get rid of quit smoking. If the person says 5 or 6 out of 10, I know they're not very committed. They have to be pretty close to 10, at least 8 or 9 to really have a chance. And the same thing with your purpose. You have to, and it'll go back, you'll have your ups and downs, but basically be there. Otherwise, you're just sort of contemplating it, considering it, maybe preparing, maybe later. That's fine. This is not a judgment. It's just kind of a way of checking in. This is an area that, hey, if I'm low on commitment, what can I do to strengthen it to achieve my life purpose? That's why this wheel will, as I'll demonstrate, comes into play, is a very useful tool. And the last part of the wheel, the last quality of purpose is resilience. Resilience, the must-have quality. You know, as you go on in life, I've been around a few years, you may notice, you realize you're going to have a lot of challenges, a lot of setbacks, a lot of disappointments. That's part of life. In fact, every day you don't know what's going to happen. What starts off seeming like everything great, suddenly, you know, your computer goes down, a bill comes out of nowhere, a call that sets you off or whatever, you know. And that's part of life, and that you need to bounce back. You have to learn to deal with the challenges and know you can bounce back, that you can continue. You're not going to get stuck and give up. And that's part of being resilient, an important quality to have. So there's 8 factors, 8 aspects of the wheel of purpose. And let's see. Are there, well, let's do a demo on that, a little how it might work. And I have Lori here. I'll unmute you, Lori. And hi, Lori.
Hi, Phil.
And Lori is actually someone who is enrolled in our coaching and healing training, which is going to be starting again soon in October 9th. And so she has had some introduction to these kind of coaching wheels and healings, although not this one, I know. Lori, so the wheel of purpose, you saw that. I'm going to bring it up in a moment again here. But maybe let me ask to start with, on your purpose, like where do you feel you are in your purpose in terms of being aware of it, knowing what it is, living it? What would you say just off the bat? It's fine wherever you are, but I'm just curious where you are just to start.
I feel like I'm pretty close on a scale from 1 to 10. I'm feeling like I'm at about an 8 on knowing and being clear on my life purpose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's interesting, as you get knowing and clear, there's certain steps and directions that you have in it. Maybe you're kind of stumbling about or kind of going in that direction, but it's almost like the fog lifts, you know. Wow, I can see straight ahead. I know the way to go. Good. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Anything else you wanted to share before we go around the wheel and check where you are in each of the subdivisions?
I was just going to share that the Heart of Success course helped to affirm for me that I was on the right path of my purpose, because I had an inkling before I started the class, and now it's very strong. I think it's just a matter of exactly which direction I'm going to go, whether it's one-on-one coaching or, you know, teaching workshops or things like that. So, but I definitely have confirmed that, you know, I'm on the right path as far as learning healing technique, holistic healing techniques.
Right. And Lori, by the way, the Heart of Success is one of our coaching and healing online course, the certification course that's beginning soon. So people can enroll at different places in it. So it's beginning again soon. And Lori's just referring to, she's already had a few months in the first course. So that's what she was referring to, how it's helped her. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's bring up the purpose, wheel of purpose on the screen. Getting on the wheel here. Okay, there it is. All right, can you see that, Lori?
Yes, I can.
All right, so I'm just going to go around and ask 1 to 10 where you are, self-assessment on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Make a note of it, and then we'll ask follow-up questions. Okay, loving yourself and others, 1 out of 10, 10 being feeling right now, you know, more or less you're fully, totally loving yourself and others, 1 being very, very little. Where are you? What would you give yourself?
Is it possible to break those into 2 separate?
Okay, it could, yeah. And that's another part of the wheel. These wheels are very flexible. So give it
to me. I would say loving myself is very strong, probably an 8 or a 9. And loving others, I'm definitely working on that as far as, you know, unconditional love.
Yes.
So I'm going to say I'm probably more around a 7 in that area.
Okay. Thank you for noting that. That's a good self-awareness that you broke that into it. So the wheel is, in a certain sense, is just a certain number of things, and it can be done and subdivided or done with fewer subdivisions or more. Thanks for that. Self-awareness, 1 out of 10, 10 being feeling you're very aware of yourself relative to your life and where you're going. and one would be, I'm not really aware, I'm not aware of the choices, things going on around me, how they affect my life and consequences, that kind of thing. Where would you put yourself?
I would put myself at an 8.
Okay. And self-expression, being able to feel that you can authentically express yourself, what's important to you, your creativity.
That's a 6, Phil.
Okay. Independence. Independence is sort of neither controlling nor pleasing, neither so codependent on others or so independent that you're not paying any attention to other people. Sort of a sense of a balance on that, where you can be self-determined to choose your destiny and work with others and be alone when you need to. And
I'm a strong 8 on that one.
all right. And resourcefulness. There's especially the inner resources where you feel like you can count on yourself. You can be directing yourself. You can find the guidance, the inner guidance, and also external support too.
I'm going to go with an 8 again.
Okay. Confidence. How confident are you? How much do you feel you can count on yourself to follow your calling, to follow your destiny, to find your purpose?
Feeling strong there too. I'm gonna say an 8.
All right. Committed and motivated. That means, hey, I'm going to do what it takes to find my purpose and live my purpose. I have a strong.
That's a 10. That's definitely a 10.
All right. It kind of sounds like it in your voice. And resilience. In other words, you're going to hit some bumps. You're going to get some setbacks. You're going to probably find out stuff about yourself that's going to be an sometimes, oh no, not that. How can I, I thought this was going to work and so forth. There's going to be a lot of hidden twists and turns along the way. How much do you feel like, and you've had that in your life already, how much do you feel you can bounce back? You can use that. You can still get up and go forward.
That's very strong. I would say that's also a 10.
All right. That's a nice quality to have, so strong. All right. So looking at the wheel, the lowest one, most of them are pretty high, 8 to 10. The lowest ones were loving others and self-expression. Those would be the ones that would be the weakest points on your pretty strong wheel of purpose. Of those two, and we could do a little healing on that, which we'll do momentarily. Which one do you think might need a little bolstering at this point, or you'd like to?
I would really like to work on self-expression.
Self-expression. Okay, let me do speaker, see if this works. So self-expression, there you are. So your self-expression. Now, what's one area, just one specific area that you'd like to express yourself more on, just to kind of put it into a specific situation too, so we can measure it? I'd like to express myself in this kind of situation, or you're thinking of an incident like, wow, I wish I could express myself here.
Mm-hmm. I guess I wish I could express myself more freely when talking about my purpose and my passion. Express myself more freely, and I have to be creative in coming up with what it is that I have to offer. And I find that I feel like I have some blockages there.
Okay, so let's see how we're going to try to help heal or clear that blockage. We'll start off with an EFT on that, a tapping technique, which many of you may be familiar with, something that we use with the coaching. It works really well to clear some of the blocks so you can go forward with your purpose. So when you think of a block, can you think of a time maybe in the past that you were trying to get clear and you couldn't? You remember that time?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was actually just a few days ago. I had someone ask me about what the training, the practice sessions, and I was trying to just explain what holistic healing is and how it works. And of course, I know all of this, but I was having a hard time expressing it.
You're kind of tongue-tied?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do some EFT on that. How did you feel during that time? You felt what, how would you put it?
I felt like something was holding me back. And I felt it in my throat area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you go into your throat, and this is very much where we talk about self-expression, right? The throat.
Yes.
What might that be? If you were to get an image or a sense or a word or some kind of clue, there might be some kind of clue in your throat of that thing that's holding you there, restricting you there.
Lack of confidence.
Okay, so that was the confidence part.
Yeah. Yes.
And that lack of confidence, what does that suggest? Is there an image? Is there a feeling, a sound? What does that, how would you describe that lack of confidence?
Kind of, it feels like a boulder. I'm just seeing a big, heavy boulder.
Yeah. Okay, so the heavy boulder there.
Yeah.
Is it in front of you or where is it located?
Yes, it's between me and the other person.
Okay, who's the other person?
Well, this was someone who was asking me about.
Oh yeah, the person who you were wanted to know what you're doing. Okay, yeah, gotcha. That boulder. Okay, so we'll do some EFT tapping and holistic EFT. So we'll tap. So even though I feel tongue-tied or I have this boulder between me, how would you put it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though I had this boulder in my way.
Yeah, 1 out of 10. How strong a feeling is that? That boulder, that tongue-tied, that lack of confidence. 10 is total.
Yeah, right now it's feeling like a 10.
Okay, it's pretty big. Okay,
yeah.
All right. So even though I have this boulder in my way, is that what you said? We're tapping.
Yes.
I know that anything is possible.
Even though I have this boulder in my way, I know that anything is possible.
And miracles are happening now.
And miracles are happening now.
Even though I have this boulder in my way.
Even though I have this boulder in my way.
I know that anything is possible and miracles are happening now.
I know that anything is possible and miracles are happening now.
Great. Okay. Even though I have this boulder in my way, I know anything is possible and miracles are happening now.
Even though I have this boulder in my way, I know that anything is possible and miracles are happening now.
Okay, so we'll do the EFT tapping points at the top of the head. This issue.
This issue.
And then the eyebrow point with either both hands, this issue.
This issue.
The side of the eye, this issue.
This issue.
Under the eye, this issue.
This issue.
Under the nose, this issue.
This issue.
The chin point, this issue.
This issue.
The collarbone point, the ridge in the collarbone on either or both sides, this issue.
This issue.
And under the arm, like you're kind of hugging yourself, this issue.
This issue.
And for holistic EFT, we do the reset process at the end. We tap the top of the head for integrating the energy into the head or brain or mind. And then we tap our heart to integrate it into our heart, which of course is where our purpose springs from and our soul connects. And take a deep breath. Okay. So when you check in now, what's it like now for you?
The boulder went down in size, like half the size that it was.
Okay, so you got rid of half of it.
Yeah.
And, okay. So what's the energy? Like you said, the block was like a 10 a moment ago. What would you give it now?
It is feeling, around a 4. And
Okay.
and the thought that's going through my mind is, you know this stuff, Lori. Um, it's just like a little bit of fear or trepidation that's getting in the way.
Okay, let's do a remaining tapping, and we'll just say, how about you know this stuff? I'm going to take your, does that, you like that? That's what
Yeah.
you said. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's tap it in. You know this stuff?
You know this stuff.
Okay, you know this stuff.
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 Let's do the reset with the anything is possible on tapping.
Anything is possible.
And tapping the heart, and miracles are happening now. That's the miracle reframe process with the EFT.
And miracles are happening now.
Okay, and the reset, good. Taking a deep breath.
It's gone now, Philip.
It's gone.
It's gone. I feel light and just free.
Wow. So thinking of talking with the, was it a woman, did you say? Was it?
Yes.
Yeah. What's it like, the idea of talking with her again? I don't know if you're going to see her again or not, but.
Yes, we're actually going to have a session together. And I feel I can see myself being, expressing myself and expressing what I have to offer more clearly and confidently now.
Right. Great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you. Very good. Thanks. Excellent. So that was the wheel of purpose. And now let's just go back to the wheel and look at, for Lori. Thank you, Lori.
Yes.
You said self-expression. When you think of self-expression, expressing yourself for your purpose, what number are you giving it now?
Oh, yeah. I'm hesitant to give it a full 10, but I would say it's gone up to about an 8.
Okay, so it's gone up significantly. That's good. All right. So, and again, the idea is you don't have to be perfect and have 10 and all this stuff to have your life purpose. So I hope you understand that too. So that's a good improvement though, for sure. And now if you look at the little handout, another neat part of it is things I will start doing to realize my purpose, and things I will stop doing or reprioritize or delegate to realize my purpose. So that's like another coaching tool that we use to help clients and students and train them how to use this. So we can just say, what's one thing you might start doing to realize your purpose relative to self-expression, since that's what we looked at, Lori?
Practice more sharing. In this instance, sharing what it is that I'm offering. But self-expression for me, when I gave it the 6, I was thinking of also just in my regular job right now. Sometimes, it has been a challenge for me, and I think what I need to do is I just need to do it more.
Right.
Not hold back as much.
Oh, I like that. Not hold back. That's a good one. That's something you're going to stop doing.
Right. I'm going to
holding back. Stop holding back. That was the other part of the suggestions here, the coaching strategies. Things I will stop doing, holding back. What else do you want to stop doing?
I want to stop criticizing myself.
Right. Do you have a sense of how you will do that, besides just having a goal to do it? Anything?
I'm Well, when I notice myself thinking a negative thought or doubting myself, replace it with something positive, such as I am a capable, competent woman.
All right. Yes, you are. I'll second that. Okay, good. All right, like it. Okay, Lori, any just observations or anything you wanted to say about using the Wheel of Purpose?
I thought this was very insightful and I guess reassuring for me because I'm fortunate. I have a career where I can work from home, and I've been able to invest time in a lot of these areas. But I wasn't always that way. And I know there was a time when I was much more out of balance. So it's affirming that the work that I'm doing is starting to, kind of pay off. And I'm on a journey of continuous and never-ending improvement. So I just want to continue to grow in these areas. I'm curious, Philip, have you ever met anyone who was a 10 all the way around?
No. And I mean, sometimes you might not want to be a 10 because you're afraid you're going to top out, but then your 10 today might be an 8, next year.
Yeah.
So you kind of grow your template. You can put in more RAM, so to speak. So it's a relative thing. It's a relative tool. Yeah. Very good. Thank you for volunteering. And I'm going to do one more kind of a briefer example of the Wheel of Purpose with Sharon Zupak, who is also one of our coaching healing students. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Philip.
Hi. I'm glad you could make it. I know you had a busy day.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to do kind of an abbreviated version of the Purpose Wheel with you, and a shortened one, and do a different healing technique to demo that, because we do coaching and healing. Why do you need both coaching and healing, you might ask? Well, coaching is going to give you a framework, goals, an overview, right? And it will give you support in ways to sustain your goals. Yet there's a lot of stuff in the way, the mindset, like we just showed with Lori, some of the expression, or I mentioned with Clara, the golfing, trying to live up to her father's dreams instead of her own. There's those kind of things swirling around in our heads until we directly deal with them. And generally you need help with that. You're not gonna, some of it you might outgrow, a lot of it you're just gonna be saddled with it until you get help with it. If you're real serious on the purpose and you want to be all you can be, you want to clear all you can and do what you can, what it takes. And that's going to be, sometimes it's going to be a stretch. There might be areas where you might have to have some discomfort or go into some unknown areas, because that's the excitement. That's where it's all going to happen. That's where you're going to grow. And so since I've done that, and I'm still doing that, then I can help you, because I've been in uncomfortable places. I've been challenged by people, by money, by my health, etc. And I can use that and become resilient from it. Okay, so with Sharon, I'm going to put up the wheel, and I'm going to do it in kind of a quicker fashion this time, because we saw it once. And this will give you another thought on it. Let's see. Okay, here it is again. And the wheel. So if you look at those 8 categories, is there any that sort of stands out for you, Sharon, that might be a weakness that you'd like to look at? Either loving yourself and others, self-awareness, self-expression, independence, resourcefulness, confidence, commitment, or resilience relative to your purpose. And I don't know how you're, also just feeling what you have, your sense of purpose is at this point too.
I would probably say the resourcefulness would be something that hits me.
Yep, resourcefulness. Okay, what number would you give yourself on the resourcefulness? 1 out of 10, 10 being totally resourceful, 1 being very little, and being able to connect with inner tools and resources and guidance and outer support. And so
I would probably say 5.
Okay. All right. So now we go into a specific area, because we're going into the healing part. This is coaching and healing, right? So what would you, going into a specific, because you want to get it specific, there may be multiple areas, by the way, in these subdivisions where you are weak or where there's a challenge. And, but give me one where you felt like, wow, you know, I didn't have the resources to get clear on my purpose or to go forward.
I would probably have to say what I'm going through right now with taking your classes and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
Tell me a little more about that.
getting a business started.
About just how to get a business started?
I would probably have to say my biggest issue is time.
Not having enough time.
Not having enough time, exactly.
And
Putting
I think
too many things on my plate and just not having enough time to do actually what I want to do.
yes, and I think a lot of people can relate to what you're saying. And as you kind of figure out this modern day challenge that so many people are faced with at different times, or sometimes a lot of times, as you figure out sort of the paradox, as you unravel it for yourself, you can help others. So that's maybe the good part of this. I know it's uncomfortable to go through. So just generally not feeling like you have enough time. And what kind of feeling does that when you think about not having the time to do what you want to do?
Actually, I get a tightening feeling in my solar plexus.
Okay. And the solar plexus is usually a third chakra. That's a kind of a sense of control or lack of thereof. And okay. And what kind of feeling do you get?
That one's a tough one to explain.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
saying like nervousness, but it's not nervousness. It's being rigid.
Rigid, tight.
Tight, yeah, absolutely tight.
Okay.
Just
all right.
Compacted, compressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Too kind of maybe wound up, maybe too.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one.
Okay. So of those, I don't know which one kind of fits it. There might be multiple. Which one seems to be the one you want to use? Nervous, rigid, tight?
I would probably say tight. I think that was
okay. So 1 out of 10, 10 being totally tight, what would you give yourself?
9.
Okay. So we're going to do another healing technique. It's called a reframing and anchoring with the soul, which we teach, which is a very powerful thing to get more connected with your soul, not only for healing, as we'll demonstrate, but for guidance. So just put your left hand, Sharon, on your solar plexus where you felt the tightness, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now think of nothing and remove your hand, let that go. And now just in terms of a soul awareness, that might just be relaxing your body and just feeling more and more relaxed with every breath and opening your heart and just feeling the love in your heart. Breathing in pure, clear energy and exhaling, releasing what you no longer need. Good. As you continue to breathe in, Sharon, pure, clear energy, and exhaling, releasing, you feel the heart opening and connecting with your soul, your greater awareness, your greater sense of who you are, the universe. Okay? And when you get a sense of that, put your right hand, your other hand, around your shoulder where it's comfortable just to place that. Okay? And tell me what it's like when you're connecting with the more soulful you.
Very peaceful, very calm,
okay.
Completely relaxed.
So remove your right hand from the shoulder where the soul. Now put the left hand back on the solar plexus, the negative part, the tightness, and the right hand on the soulful part. And all right. And now remove the left hand from the solar plexus and just kind of hang out there with that connection with the peacefulness and the soulfulness. And from this place, Sharon, what does it tell you? Maybe it will tell you or suggest something about time and your purpose in doing what you want to do.
That's going to bring some tears.
Okay.
I don't know why I think I have to do everything.
You have to do everything. Does it
Yep.
mean you're kind of doing too much, or what does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Just too much. I jam everything into my days as much as I possibly can.
So you need to kind of schedule some more spacious time or breaks or other things? Okay,
Some
that
time for myself would be good.
time for yourself. I like the way you described it. Okay, remove your hand from your shoulder. Just kind of breathe and relax. All right. So that was one round of what we call reframing and anchoring with the soul, another powerful technique, a healing tool that we teach and use, and you can use in all kinds of ways, in this case for the wheel of purpose. All right, very good, Sharon. So going back to resourcefulness, what would you give yourself now for being resourceful? Well, before we do that, let's see what you can do and what you can't do. Remember the part of the things that we'll start to do to be more resourceful. And this, we talked about your time. What's one thing you might start to do to manage your time and have time for yourself? What was that?
I actually you brought up schedule, and I think that's probably a good thing for me to do, is actually schedule time.
Yeah.
Because if I don't put it on my schedule, then I don't have to do it.
Right. Most people don't think of actually scheduling downtime or playtime or relaxation time as a schedule, but it's actually, for especially things like purpose, which is a pretty demanding thing, at least at times, depending on where you are in your life and what you're doing and what you have to do to support yourself and the people you're connected with and your family, etc. Yeah. Hey, just kind of the day ends and you didn't spend any time by yourself, and you wonder after a day or two or a week or two why you're just kind of out of breath, out of energy. Yeah. So schedule time for yourself. That's a good to do. And what will you stop doing or reprioritizing or delegating for your purpose?
I think I really truly need to stop thinking I'm Superwoman.
And tell me how that'll work. How would you do that?
Well, there again, the schedule comes back into my mind because I schedule everything. I have my calendar, and every second of my day is on that. But there's absolutely no time for me.
Mm-hmm. So just by creating a schedule where there's time for you, does that in itself take away the Superwoman that I have to, conquer 25 things on my schedule today? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would definitely work because I run by my schedule.
Right. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Your life purpose is a journey. It's the journey. We all know that. And it becomes that work of art when you start to say, wow, I can't be always doing. I have to be relaxing. I have to be being. I have to just be with myself. And when you have the solitude and the time off, that's when a lot of the creative expression and intuition and connections come in, right?
Right.
And that's what's going to be happening more and more for you.
Yes.
Great. Well, what would you give yourself for resourcefulness for now?
I would probably say I am at an 8.
Wow. So that went from 5 to 8. That's a big jump. Great. Anything you'd like to note about this, the wheel or this experience that you just had, Sharon?
Well, I have to say thank you for that because that was something that was on my brain all day today. I had a pretty hard day today, and
yeah,
I'm actually I was thinking about still doing some things tonight, but I think that I better schedule some time for myself.
Right. Okay, yes. I would second that. I would say that's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you for volunteering there, Sharon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet. You did a really good job. And that's exciting to see where that's going to take you too as we go further. So before I give my final bonus tip, I just want to tell you about our upcoming course, which I've referred to. And it's starting at this time, October 9th. And it's a certification, an online course that we do live with myself and Jane. It's in this format, the Zoom conference. It's a wonderful experience, a training. We've actually done this program for over 20 years, just the last several years online. It works out really well, so you learn a little bit every week. The Coach Healer certification beginning October 9th, and there's some links here for web where we describe the course. tinyurl.com/HOL coach is the shortened one. And it's a special course. It's for people who want to go into that triad we said about dream development, self-development, and purpose development. Do it in a wonderful small setting where we directly teach you this profound tools and knowledge like the Wheel of Purpose and many, many other things on a weekly basis. It's a little bit 90 minutes on Tuesday and another 90 minutes or so on Thursday with all classes recorded. You practice these techniques like we were practicing today with a partner, so they really become your own, and that's how you get mastery and competence and confidence and all this stuff. And we support you. There's Q&A. Jane and I answer questions at the end of every class, so you have a lot of attention that way. You have the support of fellow classmates like people like Lori and Sharon, wonderful people like that, and you get to build personal and professional relationships. We have people who said, hey, you know, Philip, we get back to them. They were in our course program maybe 5 years ago and say, remember Jill, who was in the course? Yeah, we became best friends. I see her whenever I travel in her area. We visit, we talk all the time and so forth. So, and it's hard to find holistic people who will accept you as you are, who get you, like we do. That's, as you know, that's not common. So that's a real big plus. So why would you take a program like this? Well, first of all, you're interested, you're following your soul's calling. That's part of your purpose. You're saying, hey, this sounds really interested in me. And then there's going to be resistance, right? Oh, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I have the time. I don't know if I have the money. I really want to help others. Yeah, and they don't have the time and money either. How are you going to help them if you don't go through that, right? So that's part of it. You become the words, you live the words, and you get it in a great setting. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's transformational. A lot of ahas and leaps of faith to take it, and then quantum leaps of growth. And so you get that, bottom line. And then some people want to either enhance a practice, build a practice, add on to skills to what they're already doing, just get direction. What is my purpose? Where do I go? What are my next steps to complement themselves in their life? So there are a lot of benefits to it. And it's starting fairly soon, October 9th. Maybe, and since Lori and Sharon are in it, maybe you could just speak a little bit what it's been like for you. There are 3 courses, 4-month courses. They've taken 1 or 2 of the courses, and they're going to be in the next one coming up. But Lori, you want to share what it's been like for you?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So first I wanted to just reiterate that the Heart of Success course was my first course with Awakenings Institute. And I enrolled because the curriculum had exactly what I was looking for. Prior to enrolling in the course, I had been working with a local holistic healer. I received a lot of healing for myself, healing that I didn't know I needed. I didn't even know it was possible.
Right.
Philip, something you mentioned earlier on tonight was the importance of learning to love yourself.
Yes.
Which is just amazing that I can sit here today and say I love myself. I had a very wounded inner child, but I've been healed from that and set free. So anyway, my experience created so much excitement in me and enthusiasm that I wanted to learn more about holistic healing, not only for myself and my continued personal growth, but also because I want to help others. And so I found this course to be, first of all, very robust. There's a lot of information. The study materials are content rich. The homework assignments, which we do actually prior to class, are very easy to do, and they really help you to not only be prepared for the class, but to grow while you're doing your homework. Phil and Jane are very knowledgeable, obviously experienced, full of wisdom, and they eagerly impart their wisdom on everyone in the class. They're also very personable and accessible, which I find important and I appreciate very much. And then there's the relationships that we build with others in the class. As Philip said, we develop friendships with our classmates, and some might call it a tribe. So I'll be continuing on with the Life Purpose course, and then the one after that called Manifest Your Dreams.
Right. Well, thank you, Lori, for that. It's great connecting with people like you too. For Jane and I, we really appreciate everyone. And we appreciate people just attending the webinar too, and just kind of getting a sense of this. It's a wonderful thing to see. As all of you connect further with your life purpose, you're not only going to help yourselves and live fully and have a great life, so at the end of your life, you're going to say, I did it. I did exactly what I was called to do. I followed it. I didn't let my fears get in the way. I had them. I grew through them. I got help. I got support, but I didn't stop. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. I didn't say it's too hard or it's too expensive or I don't have enough time. Yeah, some people said I couldn't do it, and I still followed my heart, and I connected with others, and I made a difference, and I had these talents and gifts, and I developed them, and I shared them with the world, and I feel good about myself. And that's part of this training. It's a special training for those who are called to do it. And when you go to the website there, the tinyurl.com/HLcoach, you can set up a time to talk with us. We want to talk with you and kind of give the idea of different, the tuition and how it would work with you in the right program for you, or if there's another one that's better for you. So it's an individualistic thing. It's a personal thing. We want to help you and connect with you and help you succeed in the way that's right for you. So second, Sharon, you mind sharing a little bit about your experience with the coaching healing program, and then I'll give a final tip here.
Well, I think Lori touched on every little part of it very, very well. And also, I may add, I have to say that the reason that I chose this was basically for myself. I needed to grow. I wanted to find something that I actually could do with my life because I had no experience, no educational experience. And I kept beating myself up, going from job to job to job. And I said, there's something that I can do.
Right.
I had to find my purpose, and I searched a lot of places out there and a lot of companies out there. And I found that what you guys do at Awakenings Institute was just a perfect match for me. The relationships that I have gotten with the other classmates has been completely heartfelt with me. I get along with everyone. Everyone is awesome. They are completely supportive of you, as are Jane and Philip. They're always there. You always find someone doesn't matter what you're going through. Someone's going to stand there and say, oh, that's exactly where I am.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
How amazing is that? How amazing is Source that he puts us where we need to be? I think you guys are exactly where you need to be.
Thank you, Sharon. Nicely
Thank
said.
you.
I wanted to note that there was a comment from Nilda earlier on to everyone about agreeing about walking the talk and leading by example, which is really what your purpose is. You become the example for yourself and for others wherever you feel called to be in an authentic way. So thanks for sharing that comment too, Nilda. So again, the training is October 9th. We're starting again, Holistic Coaching and Healing, focusing on life purpose, one of that transformational triads, that next part of the 3-part course for the 8 to 12 month program. And go to tinyurl.com/HLcoach, set up appointment and talk to us, give us a call, see if it's right for you. If it is, it'll be a journey of a lifetime. That's what people generally say. It is that transformational. So let me give you a final tip here as we close, and that is to get an effective strategy. for your life purpose, you want to have some strategies, things that will work. We talked about a few strategies tonight in the examples, because it is a journey, it's not a destination. And you want to be with people who have already succeeded. This is what successful people know and do, and you may already realize this. So we have been through this journey in different ways. We're still learning and growing too, and we can help you because of some of the things that we've gone through, the research and the experience and the years that we've put into it. And that will help you go a lot faster and save you actually a lot of time and energy. Because you have to realize you have to be open to growth and growing. And sometimes in areas where you never imagined. And it's kind of thrilling, actually. Most people really need help. This is not a do-it-alone, Lone Ranger approach. It's an evolutionary leap, and you get support. Successful people get support because you're going to be in the world in a new way, and you're going to be setting an example and paving a way, whether it's raising consciousness or awareness for a social cause or for environmental cause, whether it's art, doing art or music or humor, uplifting people that way, or with beauty. Maybe it is coaching and healing. Maybe it is serving as a role model to a small group or a large group or something else. Whatever it is, you'll find your unique way of doing your purpose, using your strengths, your gifts, your interests. Because as I said, the life purpose is sort of the ultimate focusing tool. It helps you not only find out where the tracks are. What is the tracks? Where are they? That purpose is the focus, the beam, the navigation tool. So you can stay on track. And when you get off track, you'll know how to get back. If the traffic gets congested, okay, it's going to be tough for a while, but you're going to get through it. And then there's going to be some scenic, easy stretches too. And you'll be more free flowing. But it'll be meaningful. You'll be making a difference. It'll make all the difference in the world. And you matter. So thank you, everyone, for your attention. This is Philip Mountrose. My wife, Jane Mountrose, and I, we thank you and look forward to connecting with you further on your journey of awakening to your purpose. And we hope to see you soon in our upcoming program or elsewhere on our other offerings too.